What's going on, everybody? It's AG here. Long time no see. So, with the newest release of Blumhouse's movies, Five Nights at Freddy's, and their newest movie also coming to streaming, The Exorcist Believer, I thought it'd be a good time to rank some Blumhouse movies. So, today we're going to be doing just that, me ranking my top 20 Blumhouse movies. Down in the comment section, let me know some of your favorite Blumhouse movies. Obviously, I haven't seen all of them, so if yours, like one of your favorites, isn't on this list, you know what I mean? I probably haven't seen it. Uh, and I tried to limit myself to like one per franchise. So, for example, like three of the five Insidious movies would probably be on this list, but to make it more even, to make it more fun, I limited myself to one Insidious movie. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind while we're moving along this list too. Uh, but if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below for me for more movie, sports, and gaming. And then if you enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So coming to number 20, we have Creep. Okay, so this is a Netflix movie. Uh, Kind of a weird movie. This guy like goes to this guy's house and he's like, I think he's trying to film him for something. He's trying to film him for something. Oh, there's two of these. They kind of run together for me. But the guy, safe to say, when he gets there, the guy that lives there is pretty weird. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If not, well, yeah, it's ranked at number 20 for a reason. So it's a pretty weird movie. Not bad, but definitely not very good either. Probably like a 5, 6 out of 10 movie, Netflix movie. So ultimately, all right, but in the end, nothing special. All right, it's coming at number 19. Oh, it says 10. Coming at number 19, another Netflix movie. We have Hush. All right, so Hush is essentially this girl, the girl from, what's she from? A lot of Mike Flanagan shows. So Haunting a Hill House, Haunting a Blind Manor, Fall of the House of Usher. She's in a lot of those. He may have actually directed this. I'm not sure. But basically, she's deaf in this movie, and an intruder breaks into her house. So she can't hear anything that's going on. But in the background, you like see this guy breaking into her house, messing with her. And so ultimately, not a bad movie. Similar to Creep, probably better than Creep by a little bit. That's why it's at number 19 instead of 20. But not a bad movie at all for a Netflix movie. Probably, like, 5, 6 out of 10 again, but not bad at all. All right, so number 18, we have the Belko Experiment. So this is a Blumhouse movie. I watched this a while back. It's been back when I worked at a movie store, and those aren't around anymore. So I can tell you how long ago that was. Probably like 5 years. But anyways, this movie basically it's these people in this office. So everybody works in this office, and this experiment basically goes on. Like they trap them in there, and basically tell them that like whoever survives wins. Okay, so like people start killing each other to try to go through this experiment. Think kind of like Cabin in the Woods, like they're being manipulated slightly to like they're being watched. So people are trying to make them do stuff, but not a bad movie. Kind of on board with Creep and Hush. So not very good, but not bad. Uh, Now every movie above this, I would say, is a pretty good movie. I'd say six or above as far as 6 out of 10. So uh, every movie from 17 up, I'd recommend. So 17, we have Unfriended. Okay, so this is a movie that's like a found footage movie, but also it's like a computer movie. Okay, so it's like filmed completely from a screen, like you're looking at now. So it's one of those type of movies, and it's on this kid's laptop. They're on like a Skype call, like with a bunch of his friends, and this one I can't really remember, but some stuff starts going down. It was really unexpected because it looked pretty crappy going in, but ultimately it was actually pretty good. But anyways, basically everybody in the Skype starts dying. I can't remember if they're getting killed by something supernatural or like somebody is actually killing them. Or actually, hold on, take that back. I think that's happening, but somebody like in the Skype is like on a black screen like this. You know what I mean? Like they can't see anything. There's a black screen, and like that. And basically, they're like typing stuff in or saying stuff, I think, that is like provoking them to kill themselves. Like, I know this about you. I know this about you that you might not want this other person in the Skype to know. So ultimately, not bad. Kind of surprisingly good. I didn't really expect much from it, but not bad. All right, so 16, we have the Black Phone. I can type, not emojis. Black Phone. All right, so this is another Blumhouse movie starring Ethan Hawke. This came out a couple years ago. I just saw today that they released that they're gonna make a part two in like 2025. So might be interesting. But from the same creator of Sinister and Doctor Strange, Ethan Hawke is basically the bad guy in this one, and he's like he kidnaps this kid, and the black phone in this basement when the kid picks it up, he can like hear the voices of other people, other kids that this guy's kidnapped, and talk to them. Not as good as I was expecting and hoping, because I'm a big fan of Ethan Hawke, and Sinister was really good in my opinion. You'll see that later on the list, but uh, yeah, not quite as good as I was hoping, but ultimately not a bad movie. All right, so number 15, we have The Hunt. Okay, so this is a little lesser known one, lesser seen one probably. Basically, in this one, these rich people are hiring, not even hiring, they're like capturing these poor people and then throwing them into like a Hunger Games setting, and then they're hunting them. The rich people are hunting the poor people. And so this is kind of a weird concept, you know what I mean? Because that concept in itself isn't, I mean, maybe it's realistic, I don't know. But from my point of view, it's not realistic. But anyways, they're hunting down these people, they're killing them, and it's kind of like a Hunger Games. And as you can expect, the poor people in the game, kind of start to fight back, try to figure out a way to survive. Pretty good movie, actually unexpected. I didn't really hear of it till I saw it, but not bad at all. All right, so number 14, we have The Purge. Okay, so this is another movie that really probably should have been better than it was. The concept for The Purge is really good. Like one night out of the year, you can do whatever the heck you want and get away with it. So you can do murder, you can do any sort of crime you can think of, but you might want to lock your house up because some stuff's going to go down. People are going to try to break in, you know what I mean? Things like that. It's all legal. So this is another one that stars Ethan Hawke, and not as good as I was hoping. It's pretty good just for the concept itself, but they could have done a lot more with it. I thought the sequels to this movie did a little more with them, but they weren't as good of movies, if that makes sense. So like they did more with the premise, kind of took you out into the night, like what's going down on this purge night, but didn't really show too much. House number 13, if I can spell again, we have Freaky. Okay, so this is similar to some Blumhouse movies they usually do lately, like Happy Death Day, Totally Killer. Freaky's like Freaky Friday meets Scream. So Vince Vaughn and this girl basically swap bodies. Vince Vaughn is a serial killer in this movie. She gets swapped into his body, he gets swapped into hers. And then, you know, as you can see, they're going to try to kill each other. And basically, Vince Vaughn is going to use her body to try to go kill people. And so he's not framed in his own body, if that makes sense. Not a bad movie again. Pretty good concept. Pretty interesting concept. As you can see with a lot of these movies, they're pretty interesting concepts. Uh, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Kind of enjoy that premise in itself. You know, taking an older movie, mix it with Scream. As you'll see later, there's a lot of movies like that that I enjoy that are Blumhouse. All right, so 12, we have Ouija Origin of Evil. Okay, so this is, I think, part two of the Ouija series. This is directed by Mike Flanagan, which has done a ton of Netflix shows I love. Fall of the House of Usher, that's a recent one. Midnight Mass. What's the other one? Haunting a Hill House, Haunting a Bly Manor. He's a great director, in my opinion. Also directed Doctor Sleep, but pretty great movie. This improved upon the first one. The first Ouija was pretty average, you know, nothing special. But this one actually really set the bar high. Had a lot of the same people he has in a lot of his shows, so pretty good movie that I enjoyed. If you hadn't seen that, like if you gave up on Ouija 1, didn't want to check out Ouija 2, I recommend it. Go watch Ouija 2. All right, number 11, we have a movie that came out, I think, at the beginning of this year. Megan. Yeah, it did come out at the beginning of this year. Megan, kind of a new, hip Chucky movie. So basically, Megan's a robot. And similar to Chucky, like I said, long story short, she's going to start killing some people. And this was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Actually, the trailers didn't really sell me on it. It looked kind of dumb, kind of crappy. And it was kind of stupid, but it was one of those, it's like so dumb, it's kind of actually good. Like the concept itself, you know, like she's dancing, things like that. But really, I enjoyed this movie. One of the better horror movies of this, if it came out this year. I can't remember if it came out this year or the end of last year, but really enjoyed Megan. I think it's on Peacock if you want to go check it out. Number 10, we have The Gift. Okay, so this one stars Joel Edgerton and Jason Bateman. Kind of a slept-on movie. Really wasn't too seen by a lot of people, but basically Jason Bateman and his wife keep running into this guy that Jason Bateman went to high school with. Like he's like sitting in the back of the store. Joel Egerton walks up to him, and is like, "Hey, you remember me from high school?" And basically, I think Jason Bateman, if I remember correctly, bullied him in high school, and so he comes off as like a nice guy, but really Joel Egerton trying to get some revenge on Jason Bateman for what he did to him in high school, and so he starts like stalking his wife, and they're trying to have a baby, so he like tries to get involved with that, like and kind of I won't say cyber bullies them, but like mentally messes with them. You know what I mean? Pretty good movie. If you probably forgot about it, even if you have seen it, but it's probably like coming back in mind because really I hadn't remembered most of it until I started writing this list down. All right, so number 9 we have Happy Death Day to You, or sorry, not Happy Death Day to You, just Happy Death Day. All right, so Happy Death Day to You is the sequel, but that one wasn't as good as this one. So similar to Freaky, this is essentially Groundhog's Day meets Scream. Okay, so like a slasher type of horror movie, but she keeps reliving the same day. She's getting killed by the serial killer. So she's trying to figure out who the serial killer is that's trying to kill her. And so it takes her like, however many days to finally figure that out at the end of the movie. And pretty funny movie, kind of one of those that's, it's a slasher like Scream. Got some enjoyment out of it though, that it's funny, but it's also kind of serious in some moments. If you haven't seen Happy Death Day, go check it out. All right, so number 8, we have Halloween 2018. While the two sequels to this movie sucked, in my opinion, Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends, pretty forgettable, pretty bad. Halloween 2018, I really enjoyed though. It was good to see Michael Myers back. King of Halloween, that's what you want to see every Halloween. It's what I watch every Halloween personally. Is Halloween 1 and 2. Uh, but Halloween 2018, probably one of the 3 or 4 best Halloween movies. It's gory, it's brutal, but I enjoyed it a lot better than Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. A lot of people forget about this. I was actually talking to somebody the other day, it might have been yesterday, about Halloween 2018. They're like, "Well, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends was bad. Was Halloween 2018 was bad too, right?" I was like, "No, it was actually pretty good." Just because those two were bad, don't forget about this one. And I tend to do that too, to be honest with you, because I'll talk about how crappy the other two were, and I forget Halloween 2018 actually pretty dang good. All right, so number 7, we have The Visit. Okay, so the first of 2 of M. Night Shyamalan's movies on this list for me. The Visit, if you don't remember, these 2 kids go to their grandparents' house, and long story short, grandparents are a little cuckoo. Okay, so they're like, don't come out in the hall at night because you don't know what's going down with grandpa and grandma. And it's not like that, but they come out, is it grandpa or grandma? I think it's grandma. They come out at night, grandma's like scratching on the walls like this and stuff. I think she's naked too. So, she's naked, scratching on the walls, crawling around the wall, crawling around the floor. And you can remember that under the stairs, she's like crawling, chasing the girl. And I'm not going to spoil it if you hadn't seen this movie. But if you haven't seen this movie, do me a favor, go watch it. M. Night Shyamalan, I'm a big fan of him. And this is one of his better ones of recent memory. I really enjoyed The Visit. All right, number 6, we have The Invisible Man. Last movie I saw before COVID. The Invisible Man, I actually really enjoyed this one. I need to rewatch this one because if I do, it might move up this list, to be honest. Uh, Invisible Man, basically, this girl is getting what she thinks is attacked by an invisible man. Nobody else believes her, obviously, because nobody can see her. But this is actually a pretty intense movie. I can remember the scene where she's like in her kitchen getting chunked around by this invisible dude. Uh, she's like lifted up, like trying to stab him. She's like getting picked up and thrown across the kitchen. Pretty good movie. I think that this is like really just a dude in an invisible suit, if I remember correctly. Like it was this new technology that they were testing out. But pretty good movie. I think it was her ex-boyfriend actually, but spoiler alert, sorry. Number 5. All right, some second of my M. Night Shyamalan movies on here. Split. So Split, maybe it's the ending of this movie that makes it for me because I'm a big fan of Unbreakable. But if you haven't seen Split, it's actually in the Unbreakable universe. Okay, so Unbreakable, if you remember, starring Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson. This one, Split, stars James McAvoy and what's her name? Taylor Joy, Anya Taylor Johnson, one of the two. I think it's Anya Taylor Joy, the girl that was in The Witch and The Menu. But anyways, okay. So she's in this movie. James McAvoy has like 20 different personalities, and that's where Split comes from. He has split personalities, and one of those personalities is like this supervillain type thing, like superhero. Like he like can just morph into this. Like he can't kill him. Like he has like superpowers. He can like super strength. It's super speed, that type of stuff. But it's really just one of his personalities. Like he's extra strong. He kidnaps these three girls, and they see all this stuff going on. Basically, he's trying to feed this uh, what he claims is like this other worldly thing that's trying to eat him. And I think really he's making up some stuff. Like he's just going through it in his personalities. But I really enjoyed Split. One of M. Night Shyamalan's better movies, and definitely one of the better Blumhouse movies. All right, so number 4, we have Get Out. All right, so Get Out really was higher on this list until I started realizing what actually was a Blumhouse movie. Like some of these movies I forgot they were. Get Out, Jordan Peele's movie from a few years back. Probably more than that now, but this is actually one of the better horror movies of recent memory. And I guess you can call it horror. You know, it's more psychological, but it's got some horror aspects and elements. But basically, this guy goes to his girlfriend's family's house for this weekend, and basically, her family's crazy, and they start trying to like trying to think of the right word here, hypnotize him, I guess. And he runs into some other people, and realize they're hypnotized too. So like he comes across that she might be the girlfriend. Maybe I'm not gonna spoil anything. Might be bringing some people home. Then like they're like hypnotizing them and then selling them to some other stuff. But really good movie. Jordan Peele probably his best yet. I really enjoyed Us and Nope, but this is probably the best one yet. So number 3, this is the most recent one I've watched. Okay, Totally Killer. So similar to Happy Death Day, similar to Freaky, this is Scream, but meets Back to the Future. This is on Amazon Prime now. Just came out a few weeks ago. I really like this movie. One of my favorite movies of this year, actually. And I was really surprised I liked it so much. Really enjoyed the vibe of it. It's just basically this girl is, excuse me, this girl is getting attacked by this one guy that killed somebody like 18 years ago or 20 years ago, something like that. Basically this killer comes back and he kills people when they are, I think 16. I think it's a Sweet 16 killer. That's right. Okay. So he kills people and kills girls that are like 16. And so apparently he had killed the girl's mom's best friends like 16 years ago, something like that, 18 years ago, whatever, 20 years ago. And so the killer shows back up like however many years later when the daughter is 16. So she ends up going back in time, meeting her mom, meeting her mom's friends. And so that's pretty funny. It gets the Back to the Future kind of comedy elements there. And I really enjoyed this movie. Really a surprise movie for me. I'd give it like an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. All right, up to our top 2 here. Number 2, Sinister. Sinister, one of my favorite scary movies, horror movies of the last, 15, 20 years probably. Sinister, I really enjoyed this movie. Ethan Hawke, he's a writer, goes into this house that he buys for his family, and he doesn't tell them, but this is where the story, he's a horror writer. So the story he's writing about like took place in that house. So like a girl was murdered in that house. And he finds in the attic these tapes on I can't think of the right word right now, on a reel, I can't think of it, Super 8 film reel. He finds like this set of tapes in the attic and starts playing them, and it's like the killer left those in the attic, and it's all the murders that killer has done. And if it had gone the route I thought it was going to go, this would be number 1 and probably one of my top 10 scary movies of all time. Goes a little different route in the end and kind of ruins it for me. Not ruins it, but doesn't reach the potential I thought it had. But with that being said, still a 9 out of 10 horror movie. All right, at number 1, we have Insidious. Why am I tabbed over here? I'm not to use Google Docs, apparently. Oh my gosh. Got to get this right. Okay, apparently it's not going to happen. All right, number 1, Insidious. Okay, Insidious, one of the better horror movies that came out. Like I said, last 20 years. This spawned a ton of sequels. The Red Door came out this year. This is the one, not to get confused with The Conjuring. but directed by James Wan also. So he directed Conjuring, he directed Saw, one of the best horror directors there is right now, probably the best horror movie director. Stars Patrick Wilson, also starred in The Conjuring, so don't get that confused. Uh, and so it can be a little confusing. I know somebody I talk to about these movies a lot usually gets those confused. But Insidious is the one where his son gets trapped in the Further, is what it's called, by the like red demon, kind of looks like Darth Maul. And this movie spawned a lot of sequels for a reason. I can still remember the first time I watched this, running it on Redbox back when they had DVDs. So I think they still do that, but that was the prime way to get movies back then. So went to Walmart, rented this movie on Redbox, watched it with some family. Really enjoyed this movie. There's a reason, like I said, it spawned a ton of sequels, and this kickstarted it all. Like I said, James Wan, probably the best horror director there is right now, at least. And I just really enjoyed Insidious. Great movie. 9.5 out of 10. Great movie. Now, I will be seeing Five Nights at Freddy's tonight about midnight in theaters, so be on the lookout for my out of the theater reaction for that. If you are new here, subscribe down below so you can see that. Be the first one to know about it. I'll also be reviewing that and The Exorcist Believer pretty soon. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, subscribe down below. Also, down in the comment section, let me know some of your top Blumhouse movies. Let me know what video you want to see next. What do you want to see ranked next? Let me know. Uh, and as always, make sure to hit that like button down below. So, hey, until next time, that's my list. AG, out.